Are you ready to tell me about the greatest sequel ever made? Dynasty Warriors 9.
Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Dynasty Warriors 9 was quite the disappointment.
Yeah, so I saw some things, but I'd like to hear it from you.
Where to begin? Well, first and foremost, you're listening to another Let's Discuss on hardmodegamers.com. Make sure you like and subscribe and hang out with us as often as possible. Right now, we're going to dive into Dynasty Warriors 9, the greatest disappointment of all time.
All time.
All time. I
All
was
time.
so excited for Dynasty Warriors 9. Like, I even put up that special piece about it. It was literally my saving grace. I was like, this is the game. This is the game. And it wasn't. It was so bad in so many ways. I just can't even really bring it to life.
Let's break it down. So, first ever game from the Dynasty Warriors series that was open world. How was that?
Great idea in principle. No, not even a great idea. A decent idea in principle, awful execution. They made the biggest, most robust, large world possible. Like, this map is huge, but it's vastly populated with nothing.
Oh man, so
It's just a lot of travel space.
it's like one of those games where they just took nothing and stretched it. The
Exactly.
the sniper.
Well,
Ghost
even
guy.
Ghost Recon had more.
No, I'm
going
talking about
for it.
Sniper Ghost.
Oh yeah,
Sniper
Ghost Warrior. Yeah.
I couldn't even remember the name. That's so forgettable.
This was just like, I don't know what anybody was thinking when they approached this way, because it makes sense. It's like, all right, cool, this could be fun, like China, and it's all its vastness in the middle of this warfare, and you just kind of end up in the middle of different battles. But when you're playing a game like Dynasty Warriors and it's kind of objective focused, like it's story based, it takes away from that randomness in the war, because it's like, no, this battle that I'm running up to is actually just complete nuisance because I have to get somewhere else. Like,
So they're just giving you a what you call it, one of those little trips. They're just giving you a travel.
yeah, it's just a beautiful place to travel through. And even beautiful is a stretch because the graphics weren't great.
I heard about the pop-ins. Tell me about
Oh
those.
my God, the pop-ins. Like, Dynasty Warriors has always suffered from pop-ins because they populate so many characters at a time. But it's worse when you try to do it in an open world because you have to generate so much content at the same time. So the pop-ins were awful. Like, I'd be mid-battle and then all of a sudden, like, the lead boss is standing next to me fully charged up and ready to swing. It's like, what happened here? Like, what
How did you
happened?
even
Yeah.
get here? You didn't even announce yourself or anything.
Or anything. They'll announce themselves after they've already struck me twice. It's like, wait a second, this isn't
Wait,
right.
they actually do that?
Yeah, things like that happen. Things like that happen. And it harkens back to, like, the beauty of Dynasty Warriors being kind of flawed as a game because it never focused on that aspect of the game. So, like, even in the older Dynasty Warriors, things like that would happen. You wouldn't get attacked, though. You'd see the character running across the screen before he announced himself with the cutscene. And you'd be like, oh, all right, well, that happened. But it was still, but this.
So it's not
this was
cute
just-
buggy. It's just bad buggy.
This was just bad buggy. This was bad buggy. And it's like, at this point in console generation life cycles and in just generational consoles, period, like, it's just not okay.
How did
at
that
all.
happen? How did that? Because I played Monster Hunter. That recently went open world, and that was fine. Well, for the most part. I mean, chasing someone, like, across a map forever kind of sucked, but I can't speak to that because I'm not a Monster Hunter fan. I just picked it up and said, hey, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
And that made the transition. But this game...
I think part of it is how big Dynasty Warriors really is. I mean, if you think about it, there's almost 70 characters, 70 playable characters on the roster.
Oh, yes. 70, 80 playable characters.
Yeah, so-
10 or 20 for each faction.
Like,
and
exactly. So, like, you think about all of those characters that have to be designed. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, they have to design the different types of soldiers that you're facing because you have to face, like, in a lot of cases, they just get color scheme swapped. But in some cases, they actually design different armor for the different, like, kingdoms. So you have to take that into account. Different weapons, then the entire layout. And then they tried to go open world. They tried to do something they've never done before, which it worked before because Dynasty Warriors was originally a fighting game and then became the hack and slash it is. So that crazy approach happened and it worked. But this one was more like they wanted to keep the same game but make it open world. And it didn't work.
That doesn't sound like it works.
It felt a lot like how I felt about Metal Gear Solid 5, except Metal Gear Solid 5 was playable.
That did it right for the most part.
It was okay. It lost. It did it right in the sense that the open world Metal Gear Solid game that arrived worked and made perfect sense. It did it wrong in that it didn't tie to the rest of what the series was known for.
Yeah, no, it was just...
Yeah, Dynasty Warriors tried the other way around. They tried to keep everything that they were known for and throw some open world on top, and that turned out to be an even worse decision.
Yeah. I've seen some, like, gameplay footage, and I'm even seeing, like, the pop-in, the glitches, and then, like, the story, the way it's carried out with these 80 characters, how was that? Like, did it work, or...
I couldn't even really get through it because it's the first time where when you pick a faction or you pick an army, you're kind of forced to play as that army for a while. While in regular Dynasty Warriors, I can hop in and out of stories because each story is kind of like set up as its own like arcade tower of sorts. So I can just pop in and out. Like if I want to play as the Kingdom of Wei, which is the blue army, I can go in there, do 2 chapters, pull back out and jump into the Kingdom of Shu, which is the green army, do a couple chapters there, then jump right back out, go into free mode, do whatever I wanted. With the open world setting, all of that jump around arcadiness gets taken away because it's an open world.
Yeah. I don't know what to say.
It hurt. It hurt my soul.
Was the plot okay? Like, is it the same story?
It's the same story being retold over and over. They add different side stories to kind of like make it better. They add more depth to certain stories. They add more detail to certain stories. But it's just the romance of the 3 kingdoms, the feudal era of China. Like, so it's not really something that can be changed too much because it's rooted really deeply in history. So it's hard to like really play around with it a lot, but it is an interesting story. So like I said in the review, like it's an interesting story if you like the time period, if you're into that part of history. If you're not, it's not going to be fun.
So you're saying it's only for the Dynasty Warrior fans?
I wouldn't say Dynasty Warrior fans. I would say like if you are a fan of Chinese, Asian culture, history, art, like that type of stuff, you'll like Dynasty Warriors a lot. Because that's what the real love of it is. I don't think anybody actually plays it for the hack and slash gameplay. There are a million better games than that. People play it. Well, I mean, I play it a lot for the hack and slash, but I play it primarily for the adventure and being a part of this kingdom.
I mean, we know the Warriors formula works for a lot of games with the 900 spin-offs it has, but that's an interesting perspective.
I think it works. I think the Warriors, style works because it's easy to copy and paste.
Yeah,
like, all you have to do is reskin. Like, in all honesty, you never know what some of the characters from Zelda like play like or feel like or how they move. So if they literally just reskin the character from Dynasty Warriors, which I have zero doubt that they did, they just reskin a character from Dynasty Warriors. You've never played Dynasty Warriors. Now all of a sudden you're getting to play as Ganondorf, and he's got twin blades that he's running around with or whatever. Like, you have no idea. You're just playing as Lu Xun from Dynasty Warriors. Twin blades running around and, like, super badass. But they can do that because it can just be reskinned over and over and over. And then they add little, like, special things to give nod to whatever series they're playing, that you're playing. You know, they started with Gundam Wing. Then it went into One Piece.
Fire Emblem.
Sengoku Basara. They've had tons of versions. In Japan, they have ridiculous amounts of Warriors games because they're just so easy and arcadey. So that's where the open world idea was bad.
I got a pitch for this game. Another spinoff. American Warriors.
No.
So we have George Washington and all of his generals, except they have, martial arts weapons, and they're just like, firing shurikens and fighting the British Versailles. In waves and waves.
No, that's no.
You come on, that'd be kind of cool. it would be a big slap in the face.
I'd play it because I like Warriors games, so I'd give it a shot.
It's insane. This is what I'm around for. Just like I said, I thought to myself, I was like, what if it was George Washington? And then the idea just spiraled after that.
Went out of control from there. I mean, at the end of it all, though, I would say with Dynasty Warriors 9, it's a strong pass from me. If you want to play a good Dynasty Warriors game, jump into Dynasty Warriors 8. 7 if you have a PS3 and haven't upgraded to a PS4 yet.
What should they do with the next game?
So the next one that is coming out is already confirmed. Is Warriors Orochi. I believe Warriors Orochi 4 is what we're on now. Warriors Orochi is when they take Samurai Warriors and Dynasty Warriors and they mix them together, and then add like some supernatural elements. So this is the Warriors game that has an original story and is super rooted in like a creative, crazy story arc, based around like Asian style fantasy.
Okay.
Mixing Chinese and Japanese culture.
Is that one open world?
Hopefully not. They haven't said
Hopefully
anything
not.
yet, but hopefully not. Warriors Orochi 3 was not open world. It was close to open world because it had like a game hub that you went back to every now and then, but that's it.
This open world thing, like, I was warning everyone about this. It's like not every developer can do this. So they don't have like the 1 million person team to make this full-scale open world and try to make everything do this. You're going to have these companies that can't quite cut it. You saw that with Ghost Warrior. You saw that with kind of this. And I hope some of these companies that can make good games go back to their formula.
Yes.
Because there are winning formulas, and it doesn't have to be open world. That's the realm of some game designers who have that down pat. You got Ubisoft.
And not just that they have it down packed, but that's they believe in that formula. They're not just copying the formula for sales sake or because it's popular. Like this is the formula that they believe makes the best games. So just stick to what you believe makes the best game formula.
Be yourself, Dynasty. Be yourself.
That's it.
All right. With that note, subscribe to our channel right here. Check out our website, hardmodegamers.com. We do reviews. We have the news called the Lucky Gamer Recap, where we tell you in a real quick, easy-to-read page all the news that you need to know that week.
Need to know basis.
Need it.
Hashtag only the facts.
Only the facts. See you later.
Peace.
心に刻め突っ走ってやる俺は誰にも止められねえ油断したね全部お見通しさ諦めたら終わりだ数字を通す戦術実行